Everyone should be able to see this channel and just edit things that they wanted. Cool. Then we will start. Welcome everyone to the workshop How to Farm Efficiently. I will be your host for this one, and we will go over a couple of things, namely what kind of states are we in when we are farming, and how do those states reflect to our run. And then we will go more in depth on how to farm certain zones efficiently and what to do in those zones. And there will be also a small questionnaire in the middle somewhere where we will watch videos and see what could have done better. So yeah, that's basically what we are gonna be doing for today. So first off, we'll be going over the states of farming. Then we'll have some farming with some rules and advice about them, and then some farming zones demo, which we will go in game, and I will show you certain zones and what to look out for and how to run those zones. If there are any questions during the presentation, at the end of each segment, I will have a look in the workshop chat and answer any questions that are listed there. Before we start, are there any questions? Doesn't look like it. Then we will start. States of farming. So basically, from what I see, there are 3 different stages of farming, which are either you are over-leveled, so basically you're ahead of the zone and you're ready for the next one, and we'll go into some examples after this. You can be on level, which basically most of the run you should be on level. That just means I'm ready for the next zone. I can farm anyone that I'm currently at without wasting XP or waiting for the next zone to be unlocked. And then the most dangerous one is if you're underleveled. And the underleveled one is something that we will go into afterwards. All of these do have one thing in common, and that you want to know all the level requirements for every single zone. And then we've made a very good list, which is also in the resources. I think it's at the bottom in the appendix, where basically every level with the zone next to it is listed. So level 3 will be Ledge, 6 Lower Prison, etc. And then some of the zones that are extra good for XP that you want to be farming, and what makes them extra good is the mob density is better, and there are more blue packs, and the zone is easy to run. That makes certain zones extra good. And we will also go over those zones whenever we are doing the demo. But first off, let's go over these 3 different stages of farming where you're overleveled, underleveled, or unlevel. Starting with overleveled. If you're overleveled, you most of the time you're ready to take over, or you should already be running. Because if you're overleveled and you're not running, then that means either the entire party is overleveled, or you didn't volunteer to run a certain zone. And during the entirety of the bootcamp, we will see a lot of the focus people mainly being overleveled, and probably some other people. And a way to change overleveling is by running faster and killing less, which is a dangerous thing to do also, because if you're not killing enough, then you will fall behind in the push, and that's banned. At this overleveled farming, there are certain goals. The first one I already touched on. Let the team know that you're overleveled, that you're ready to go, and that you want to do something. Because there's no point sitting in Ledge when you're level 10 already, waiting for someone to go to prison. This is an extreme scenario, but basically waiting for a next zone to get unlocked. If you can do something about that, then you should do something about it. If there isn't an option to do this, then there are 2 other goals. The first one is you are looking for currency, especially if you're in a group with a caster in there, because casters want transmutes and alterations for their crafts, and there are gems that they have to buy. And in basically every single run that I've joined so far, the currency requirement for the casters haven't been met by everyone. So not everyone would have had the transmutes by the time they had the opportunity to do their crafts, which could be solved by picking up more rares, selling those, picking up magics, etc. And for those who don't remember, it's unID'd weapons and items for transmute shards and ID'd for alteration shards. And besides currency, you will be looking at gear, and that's mainly from killing the yellow mobs. Since you don't need levels, you can spend a little bit more time on killing the yellow mobs, and they will drop more gear than white packs and blue packs. So if you're overleveled, look for currency, look for gear to help the team out. If you are on level, then you're basically keeping up with the runners. There's nothing you should change. Just keep doing what you're doing, volunteer for running, etc. And then the goals remain the same, where you just want currency and you want to farm gear for the rest of the group and for yourself. And letting the team know isn't as important, since it's pretty much expected for you to be on level. So telling the team, hey, I'm on level to go, doesn't add much, since we are expecting you to be on level to go. On the other side, if we are under leveled, then we only have one goal. And that one goal is catching up in levels. Because if you're under leveled, you're not participating in the run, you're not helping with anything basically, and that isn't good for a group run. So if you're not learning anything new from certain zones that you can be running, the only thing you'll be learning is how to level up in zones. So if you're under leveled, your only goal should be catch up in levels, which is going to the blue mobs, killing those blue mobs, and all the other things. And we'll go over how to do that right after this slide. But are there questions so far about overleveled, on-level, or under-leveled? Give you about 30 seconds to type something. Unid'd rare sell for transmute shards. Everything unid'd is transmute shards, and everything ID'd is alteration shards.
UnID'd unique items sell for wisdom scraps. You must ID all unique items.
Yes, that's important to also have.
And I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if it's rare or if it's magic. It still sells for the same.
Rare and magic will sell for transmute shards. Rares will sell for more shards than magic, but they will both sell. And yes, like SPL said, ID all your uniques, otherwise they will be useless wisdom fragments. How would you pick up the prison waypoint after farming a ledge, since most people are farming ledge and not return to prison when the runner hits that? Right. It's something that we will go over later, but normally there will only be one person that takes the prison waypoint, and that's the person that's setting up the lab trial. So you're gonna have one pusher for the prison, and then going to the prison to Brutus, and you have another person's role in for the lab trial. And those are the only people that will have it, and everyone else will be farming a ledge. Magic is 2 shards, rares are 5 shards. Sounds about right, button. Yeah.
I just jumped in to say, normally you
yeah,
don't need to farm prison.
I was about to say it.
Usually, being in ledge is enough to get you into being into Prisoner's Gate, which is a much stronger zone.
Yeah. And also, ledge has a better layout compared to prison for farming, which is something that we will go over in the demo. Yes, 20 shards is a full orb. So either 20 transmute shards or 20 alteration shards is a full orb. And if you're missing wisdoms at the start, you can also sell those transmute shards or alteration shards for wisdoms. But be careful with those, because the transmute shard for casters especially is very high, since you need 8 at the end, or by the time you hit level 24.
If you get lucky early, aren't like armor scraps also good for wisdom scrolls?
Yes, armor scraps are good. And if there isn't a melee build in your party, you can also sell whetstones, like the blacksmith whetstones. But that is only if you don't have a melee character. Because if you have a melee character, they would want all of those for their run and to do the recipes.
While we're on that topic, how often should should melee be trying to upgrade their weapon?
Melee can upgrade their weapon every act, basically. If they want, they can do it every act. But sometimes you will drop a rare axe that's so good that will carry you for 1 or 2 different acts. But basically, you will always be looking for upgrades. So always on blacksmith and always on rustic slashers, always on base weapons. But the melee player should know those base weapons and what to look for them.
I would say it's a little bit more frequent than that, even, especially in earlier acts. So if you think about melee weapon progression, or at least the way I think about it, is in the first few levels, let's say the first half of Act 1, up until about level 10, I think, you have 3 melee weapon upgrades, and you want to be on the next one as soon as possible, basically. After that, if I'm thinking specifically axes, I think you have a base around level 13. Then you have the level 18 base is quite good. And that would be the first base I would consider using a rustic recipe on. Before that, you just roll with whatever, magic, rare, white, whatever you find off the floor, basically.
Even if they're like elemental damage instead of physical. Because elemental will also do fine for most builds early on.
Then I would consider, rustic recipe, the first one on the level 18x. If you have rustic recipe level 18 and you're blasting, that's good enough to keep you until level 28. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly, but I think that's better than the level 23 with no recipe. If you're really rich, then you can also do level 23 recipe. But what you really want to aim for is level 28 Gilded Axe.
Yep.
And you do the full 5 whetstone craft where you quality the base and then do a rustic recipe. And that recipe is good until early level 40s, basically, is when it starts falling off.
Yeah. Until start X6 and chamber farming zone.
Yeah.
Around that.
And you need that sash to be rare or magic, right?
It's magic or
Rare.
rare, yeah. Preferably rare. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth using the recipe with a magic sash. I think you're playing with 6 people, you can try and coordinate passing essences around. Like, even alchemies,
throw
I
an
think,
alch
can
at
be
it.
worth using. Yeah, like, there's a really significant difference between magic and rare rustic recipe, and you should be able to communicate needs.
Yep. Unless like the run is Giga Poor and you Giga Coping on damage, then maybe a magic recipe is good. But normally you don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Try to keep 1 armor scrap or 2 in your inventory, because 4 links often sell for those. Yeah, that's good. Wildwood, no thanks. We are trying to improve overall consistency of the running, and going into Wildwood, which is only in this league, isn't gonna be representative for everything that goes outside of this league. So hence why we normally skip the Wildwood areas. The only thing you would do is in Northern try to get the Magi for the move speeds, and that's about it. That's the only time you would think about entering the Wildwood if you're doing that. Yeah. Okay. Then we go on to the next slide, which will be about farming. Because farming mainly consists about 2 things, and those are speed and killing mobs. And basically what you're trying to do is you don't want to kill stragglers or single mobs, and you always want to keep moving between different packs, where blue packs are always better than white, because blue packs give more XP. And the only time you would kill rare mobs if either your damage is very good or you're overleveled. Otherwise, you don't even look at the yellow mobs. You just skip them completely. And here's some screenshots that you can take as example. For this one, for example, the character is in the middle. I see 1 mob at the bottom and a new pack at the top. I wouldn't even care about the mob that's at the bottom. I would just move up to the pack that's at the top, because that's going to give us more net experience. What if the rare is fast and hunting you down? Keep running.
Run faster. Lol.
Run faster. Stopping for that rare, there's a high chance that the rare is going to kill you. Since it will be hasted, you don't have a lot of armor or evasion to dodge its attacks. So if you keep moving, that's the best way to avoid the damage of that.
Yeah.
Or try to go behind certain walls to block it in there somewhere.
And those types of mobs you can often kill while kiting them to other packs, right? So then you're getting like double benefits. You just don't stop to attack them, yeah?
Kill rogue exiles, I would only do that if you're either on level or over leveled, and if you can easily kill them. For example, the ranger, some of them are hard to kill. All the melee ones I basically skip since they do way too much damage, and casters are also easy to kill. So it depends on your damage, mainly for the rogue exiles. Another example of a good one is example in the mudflats, where there are a bunch of roas on the nests, where you would also always kill them on the nest, and a big white pack is always a good experience, especially early on. Rogue exiles can spawn very soon. I think Act 2. So I've seen them in Act 2. Maybe even earlier. Yeah. So rule number 1 for basically how to farm is don't kill stragglers. And we're gonna watch 2 videos. One of these videos will be a good example, and one of them will be a bad example. On the one that's a bad example, I want you guys to basically write down or think in your head what could have been done to improve that thing to make it less bad, or just to skip that thing entirely. There won't be sound on this because some people say some nasty stuff in these recordings. So no sound, we will just watch the videos. We will start with the one on the left. That's the first video. What do we think that could have been done in this video? Or was it a good video? Let's see, Deca, you should run rows together, find some friends to play. Loads of time spent on a single magic roa. Yeah.
And especially since this is Act 1, like as soon as they picked up the glyph, they should have bounced, right?
Yes. Yes. So also, if you look at the timer from the start, basically he starts killing that magic roa solo around 3:57-ish, maybe 4 minutes. So basically from here, 4 minutes. Just look at the time he spends killing that one roa instead of going to the next nest. Now it's dead. I will move off. It's about 15 to 16 seconds to kill a single mob instead of going forward. So in this case, he should have just left that mob, went forward, and went to the next pack. And run away in zigzags, yes. Item filter sucks. I don't know which one he's using. But yeah. And something that he does at the end with the other blue Roa, this one over here, he starts dragging it to the next pack. And that's what he could have also done. Drag that Roa to the next pack and keep attacking in between that. That way you're moving and you're spending time killing it. So yeah, you could have done stuff with that. So drag it to the next pack and then kill it on there. Or just completely skip it. And yes, stutter step is very good. On to the next video, if the thing will work. Does it work? No, we will do it like this. Paste here, this one. Next video. This is a bit later in the run, as you can see. What was the main difference between the first video and this one?
You are the one playing this one.
That doesn't matter, because I've also seen a bunch of others do it. It's just one of my thoughts, but yeah. Let's see, proper zoom, killing big packs, moving fast from pack to pack, leaps and frost blink tech. Yeah, from blue packs above each of the stairs. Single mobs alive, focusing on blue packs or big packs. Yep. I do represent lips and blink tech, but only accidentally. How does one do? I will go over that in the demo, the blink lips and tech. Skip blue pack in the first, yeah. So basically what should have been seen by almost everyone is skipping single mobs to go to a next bigger pack is always better than waiting for that single mob to die. Because if you would spend the time killing that single mob, you would have already been on the next pack. And that next pack is guaranteed more XP than that single mob that you were gonna kill. So yeah, always keep moving in between packs, don't kill the stragglers. And always focus on the blue packs since they have way more XP than all the trash white mobs. And I think the one you were talking about, Tiki, is this one up here. That blue pack up there is the one that's being skipped. So that's rule number 1. Don't kill the stragglers and keep moving in between single packs. Rule number 2, and this is a bit of a painful clip, don't overestimate your damage. Second question, are there any crazy rare mods that drop extra XP? The thing with the rare mods and combos, since they did rework, I think in 320 or 321, we don't know which combination of mods give better XP. Like when they first released Archnam, it was like, oh, Branking Touch dropped this, Lunaris Touch drops that. And we don't know that with these new packs. So yeah, you could think, oh, this one gave me XP last time, but it won't do that this time again, since they just reworked all of that. So yeah, you normally don't do this. Okay. On to the next video. Don't overestimate your damage. And I would ask you guys to look at the timer that's at the bottom, since that's a very good indication of how long this single thing takes. And he finally died. So, I saw a lot of things already. Should be Lightning Trap. Gravisius, yeah. Gravis Pain. Should have called for help for the kill. Yep. 3 people in the zone. This was a Gravisius kill that people needed the skill gem for. So you would go in and tag him and then call people in. That's why there are 3 people in the zone. So the other 2 were waiting for it to die so they could get their skill gem from him. No one is helping, correct? Yep. The solution here is, first off, yes, call for help. Second off, if you see that your damage is low, then just say, I can't do this, someone else does him. And also, yeah, tagging him, getting him low first, and afterwards calling the people in. Because this kill took about 1.5 minutes, and it was wasting the time of 3 people. 1 person that was killing it, and 2 people that were waiting for it to die. So it was just a overestimation or underestimation of that single boss fight, where it could have been done way quicker and way easier if there was more thought put into it. Don't roll Vox Selfcast. Wave of Conviction is what you level with before you swap to Lightning Conduit. On the Lightning Witch, you go Whirling Magma, Wave of Conviction, and then Lightning Conduit. That's why it's Wave of Conviction Selfcast. Also, in this clip, the person that's running, he is missing the crafts, the lightning crafts on the weapon, given the lightning resist or the lightning spell damage craft is locked behind a piety. So in this clip, this person shouldn't even be doing Vicious, since you're missing all the damage that a fire leveler would have from Diala already. So that's another mistake. Like, I shouldn't have done this fight at all since we're missing crafts. And also missing Orb of Storms, which is a lot more damage if you're going Wave of Conviction. Still, the Bastard Graph, poor inventory management. Let's just say that. Oh, that's the wrong screen. Poor inventory management. Yeah, necklace unidentified. A bunch of things are wrong in this clip. But the main thing was, know what your damage is like. And if you can't do it, just say that you can't do it and someone else can. Because in this group, there are 2 Templars. Both Templars should have at least 1 craft on their weapon, which would increase this way faster.
Yeah, I noticed that when it started, it took way too long to kill that magic pack, and I knew he
Yep.
was headed towards Gravisius.
Yep.
I'm like, this is going to be rough.
At the moment that the magic pack was hit, it should have already been called out, I can't do this. My damage is way too low. So that was the first sign of this is going to be a bad clip. And afterwards, just adding the 1.5 minutes of time waste for 3 people makes it even worse. Yeah, there's a lot of learning from when certain crafts are done and what you can do to improve the damage, and just let someone else do it if you know that your crafts aren't good enough. Yeah. Next rule, or other advice basically. You prioritize blue packs. You should know what the flow of the run is, which is a workshop that we'll touch on later. Because knowing where a certain person is in the run is very helpful. And one of the most important things, town is lava. So you want to spend as little time in town as possible. Full screen presentation should be full screen, right? No, not. Yeah, there we go. Full screen presentation. Yep. So we have another little clip. This is a different build. We can see at the bottom it's already Whirling Magma. And by the looks of it, it's a Templar. So it's going to be a Armageddon brand cremation Templar. So yes, that's a plus. It's not a Lightning Witch. But I will leave it up to you guys to find out what's wrong in this clip. Because there is something wrong. It's a long clip. And it's up to you guys to find out. And put it up more. It's already at 1080. I think we get the deal of what's wrong and what's going on. It basically continues for another 2 or 3 minutes, where loading screens are being taken, stuff isn't done in order, way too much time in town, and then finally going to the hideout to do a single craft. And then forgetting to augment your item since you had an augment in your inventory. Back to docks. And that's where this continues. I could have done this clip longer, but it would have been another 5 minutes of basically the same thing happening, where a bunch of things went wrong. I saw a lot of typing, because there's a lot wrong in this zone. Let's see, where do we start? Reset at entrance. No, you reset docks at the waypoint, which, if I look in the screen this time already, there are 2 people in docks. I should have asked if one of them had a waypoint, and that would have made things way easier at the start. Inventory, yep, inventory is always a fun thing to learn. Then we have the fiasco in town, where you were comparing the 2 mana flasks that we had, even though they were exactly the same. For some reason, spending time hovering over them, seeing if one of them is magic, and then selling one of them. I think that was over. Where is it? Where's the fun town stuff? Here's the town stuff.
That confused me so bad. Like, I know I'm a noob, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, so this. I have a 250, a 290s. Which one should. That one. Yeah.
Like, at that point, even if it's magic, it's not going to be as good as a new flask, right?
Yeah. Unless it's like a freeze avoid, then you would sell the other one.
Okay.
Or a bleed or whatever. Then you would sell the other one. But hovering over them multiple times, that's just bad. Also, by the looks of it, he has a flammability and a free blue socket. So the flammability should have been socketed in. So that's also something that should have been done. Clogging up your inventory, because an extra quicksilver, probably from way earlier that nobody wanted, should have been dropped. All these rings, this 2-stone, yeah, you can keep that one. Those 2 are basically the same that we already have in our inventory. Big chance they are white, so those could have been dropped, and just makes up your inventory space way better, so you can pick up more items. So inventory management is a big thing. And then sprint into docks, grabbing the item, going back, and then deciding, oh hey, let's go do catacombs. Going back to docks, and the moment you enter docks, oh wait, I need to go somewhere else. Even more loading screens. At least he gets the fire recipe. And the moment the fire recipe was taken, so you unlock the door, you can already see in the inventory that I had 6 transmutes. At this moment, I should have gone to the hideout to do at least one of the crafts. So the moment I open sewers, go to the waypoint, go to your hideout, do 1 craft since you have enough transmutes for 1 craft at least. So you should have done that.
Then ask or mention that you need the other ones, right?
Then ask or mention that you need the other ones. But even then, 1 craft is better than no crafts. So just doing that single craft would increase the damage way more. And yeah, another fun inventory puzzle that we can see right here, where we only have slots here. Where what we could have done is move these items, or at least this slot over to there, and then you have another slot for your chest or for a 4-link that you can fit in. Couldn't they have assigned you to Solaris running? At this point, if I remember correctly, SPL, the Shadow, was the highest level, or one of the higher level ones, and he was going Solaris, because I was under-leveled, if I remember correctly. It's a run from July, somewhere. 24 for docks? No, you can be in docks at 23, so that's fine. And 24 for Solaris is fine. You can do Solaris at 24. That's fine. It's Lunaris. That's the one that's annoying at the low level. Because Lunaris, you go on 25 half to go there. Yeah. Silver Flask would be better than a Quicksilver. If you dropped it, then yeah, you can use a Silver Flask. But double life, double mana is also very good. Things
And
that you can keep doing.
I was asking about using the second Quicksilver. They were just pointing out that leaping was better, so that's why I mentioned the silver.
Oh yeah. You can do a second Quicksilver, or even better, if we had a Ranger, you give the Quicksilver to the Ranger for move speed boots. Since Ranger is going to be running, and on a Templar and on a Witch, move speed boots are nice, but you're leap slamming, frost blinking everywhere, so it isn't needed to do those.
What's the craft for the move speed again, please?
It's a Quicksilver, your boots, and glassblower.
Augmentation.
Augmentation.
Yeah, so you start either with boots, like white boots, or you go with boots with any movement speed. If you start with white boots, it goes 10%, or if you start with any movement speed, it goes +1 tier up to tier 2. So that's how we
There you
can
go.
guarantee, like, at league starts, if we have people doing Quicksilver runs, you'll see us with, like, 25 MS boots guaranteed on, like, a falling magic item
Nice.
by, like, mid-act 4.
Do you always augment item after benchcraft? Yep. And then you're hoping for the best thing is attack speed. Second best thing is a resistance on there, and then anything else. Because it's a slot, a suffix that isn't being taken. You can't craft your resistance on there since there's a damage craft on the weapon. So just use the augment on the item and hope for something good. Yeah, that's why you augment after the craft. And it's important to do that after the craft, because if you augment before the craft, there's a chance that you hit a prefix, and then your weapon is bricked, and you need to scour or another weapon, or worst case, alt roll to get a single suffix and then craft it. So yeah, there's a bunch of things wrong in this one, but I think we know what went wrong and how to improve. And it's something that everyone starts at. Next up, because there was the last video, we'll go over some farming zones and how to do them. But before that, are there any questions about the little videos that we saw and good things and bad things about those? Can't all quiet items in transmute? Yeah, transmute. First transmute your item and then, yeah, practically. Wouldn't you start picking portal scrolls in Act 5? Portal scrolls are always good. And buying the portal scrolls in a vendor is a possibility. But going back for portal scrolls, especially in that one clip where there were 2 on the ground, it's always worth picking up those portal scrolls. It's about Northern Forest versus Sarn. The researchers say Sarn is better, but you spend much more time resetting. Has that been tested for people that, or people not on Texas, or perhaps it's more that the mobs in Northern, there's a high chance of you to get beasts in there, and some beasts are very rippy, and also in Northern there are bears, and bears are deadly. And in Sarn there are no bears. They're just easy mobs to kill always. That's why you go there. For vending things, it helps a lot if you preemptively get an idea of what exactly you will sell. Yeah. Yes, correct. Just knowing what you want to sell and what you want to do whenever you're in town is very important. And it's something that is very hard to learn and get right. Often got myself into loan screen to help with mismanagement of my time. How do you realize you're making that mistake and how do you fix it? Basically, if there aren't objectives that are urgently needing to be taken, then you should be farming. You shouldn't be in town. You shouldn't be anywhere in the loading screen. You should be farming in a zone. Because loading screens and towns, they are bad. Especially with the recent change to loading screens where everyone is coping on them. Just going from zone to zone is a bad thing. And you don't want to do that since you're just missing you experience. And most of the portals that are taken will be done in a chain. So in that clip for the Act 3, the annoying clip, you could have just been farming in that single zone in docks, and the moment that Solaris gets called out, then you can do a small chain for yourself where you go docks, Solaris, open sewers, maybe get a trial if you haven't done that, and then immediately to docks instead of
Craft.
going docks and stuffing else.
Add Firecraft into that list.
Yeah, and add Firecraft after you've done everything from the portal chain. That's very important. Or if it's after Lunaris, you add the Lightning Craft. Great skill to learn is looking at inventory while killing mobs, hence important to have a... Yep, correct. And I think in the clip... Did I have it? Oh, in this one I didn't. But yeah, you would have set up a move only, like you have on your left clip on either the R or the T button. So you can keep moving in between the zone whilst looking at your inventory. Which is what you always do at the start of title, when you first start a run. You always set up your movement skill on a couple different buttons, so you can move and do your inventory management at the same time.
Question on that, doesn't it still try to move to where your mouse is, or am I doing something wrong?
Yes, it will move to where your mouse is. But for example, what you can do, and I will show that after this, is you can open up your passive skill tree, for example, and if you hold down your move only key, you can still keep moving while in your loading passive screen. So you can just keep going forward whilst doing something else in your inventory or something else on another screen. But yeah, you do have to be careful where your mouse is, because it will move to your mouse. And yes, you can also use or hold items on your cursor while you're moving around. Yeah. Is there a particular time where you would do stuff in town? Do I just look for short windows of time? Basically, the only time you go to town is if it's something that's big for your build. So doing a recipe or getting a gem like the Gravicious gem. Those are the only times you would actually spend in town. Otherwise, you wait for a chain to be done, and then you have time in town. Because the longer that you are in town, the less time you spend XPing. Yeah. So only after your chain or after you have something important to do. It's better to hold down or click move. If you're a click enjoyer, you spam click. If you're a hold enjoyer, you hold. I prefer holding, because if you're holding down your key, you can do other stuff in your inventory. And if you're clicking, you can't, because it will drop that item on your cursor if you're moving stuff around. So hold move is what I prefer, but it's everyone's own preference. Okay. Then we will go to some examples of big farming zones where there are a lot of mobs and XP to get. Starting off with Ledge. And on Ledge, there's something pretty special Because ledge, you have on either side a way to reset. You can either reset at a waypoint, that's always in the middle. You can reset at submerged, or you can reset at climb. When you're doing farming for ledge, you always go towards the side of the climb, because the mob density towards that side is better than mob density towards the submerged. And when farming efficiently, you want as big mob density as possible. So you always go to where the mob density is better, and that is at the side towards climb. And on the ledge, there's an easy way to see that, because if you are at the waypoint where you reset, you will see these 3 spikes on the ground, and they are on every layout. And those 3 spikes, they point you towards the climb. So if you're following those 3 spikes, they will always go towards the climb where the density is better. Hence why there are pictures about that over here. And we just see that in game, how they are. So you would go to the climb or to ledge, make a new zone, and once you're in ledge, you will look for the 3 spikes. On this one, they are down here. So that will guarantee me that if I walk that way, so if I walk towards that zone, we will always end up at the climb. And that's like that in every single instance for the ledge. So always go to the 3 spikes, and you will end up around that zone. New instance, 3 spikes are there. So if we go that way, that means that our spikes, or that the climb will be over there. So always follow those 3 spikes whenever you're in ledge, because that's going to be way better XP wise. And yeah, speed is OP. Maybe a bit too much speed. And this one, spikes are down, so we go down and we do that. Not possible.
Gotta go fast.
I beg your pardon with my 940 speed.
That's not too much. Need more of
Yeah.
that, right?
But yeah, always go towards the spikes, because the spikes will point to a denser layout. And just kill the mobs that are there. That's the first zone, that's ledge. Second zone, that's Prisoner's Gate. At Prisoner's Gate, there isn't really a big read. But other than that, you will always walk towards the ship graveyard. And what you can do is you can follow the road and always go down the single ledge that's on the road. Because if you keep following it, you will end up at Piety. That will be over there. So always go down the little ledge that's on the side, and that will point you to where you have to go. And there are a lot of mobs there, which you can do. And just keep farming, keep going. And you want to reset once you enter submerged. Always control click your zones or ship graveyard. If you're not first, second, or setting up a Fairgraves, then you immediately go back Prisoner's Gate and you reverse run that same zone whilst killing all the mobs, especially the blue mobs. They are on the way. And if you're over leveled and you have decent damage, then you can even kill the unique monsters, because those unique monsters, they will drop you a bunch of items, mainly rare items, which are good for the transmute recipe. And potentially, if there's a bow, a claw, a sword, or an axe, you can make the rangers very happy with that. So always, if you're ahead, kill those uniques. And in this zone, there are always 2 guaranteed uniques that you can kill.
Hey Igor, can you restart the stream please at 7:20:30, not 10:40:60?
Sure.
Or just like change the quality?
You said 7.
7:20:30. It should be plenty.
Oh yeah, now it was at 1440, 60.
Yeah.
Like this.
Oh, yeah, heaps better.
Okay.
Let's continue.
Transmutes are greater than alts. Yeah, early on transmutes are greater than alts, especially for crafters, because those transmutes, you need 8 of them for your caster level recipes.
Yeah.
So yeah, transmutes are normally better than alts.
Don't forget though, it's a balancing act because often
Yeah.
you'll have to buy 1 to 2 gems minimum in Act 2, which do cost the alterations.
Yeah, and transmutes are also used for crafts or gems, like Tiki said. Because if you want like LMP or you want an added lightning, added gold, added fire, something like that, they also cost transmutes. So especially in the early acts, transmutes are big, and alterations become big in Act 2 to get your purities, Herald of Purity, or Purity Ice, Purity Fire, and all those things.
You mean heralds?
Yeah,
Not
Heralds.
purities.
Sorry, Heralds. Herald of Ice, Herald of Fire. Yeah. And resist crafts, when to use alchemy for resist craft, you only really use an alchemy if you have a good item, which has a single high res, good life, and an open suffix, then you would use it. Or if it has 2 good resistances, and good is 25 plus or 22 plus, whatever, then you would use the alchemy crafts. Other than that, always use the transmute. Yeah. So that's prisoner. The next zone is Southern Forest. And for Southern Forest, you always want to reset from the entrance to the town. And Southern Forest is after we clear Merville, and you always want to do that from the waypoint that is over here towards the town. And there are always going to be blue packs, always going to be apes, and those apes are very easy to kill since they have very low health. So you can kill them very easy. And they give a lot of XP since they always spawn in big packs around them. And then just keep walking and killing. And once you're running this, don't try to hog the wall, since most of the mobs will spawn around the middle. So the best thing you can do is go a little bit away from the wall, where you can still attract the mobs that are there towards your player, but you're not actually hogging it, because then you will find more mobs in the middle of the zone. So go towards the middle, and then you can cut in towards town. And then once you enter town, immediately control click, make a new zone, and basically do the same thing again. We run somewhere in the middle, and the waypoint is always going to be downwards if you're going from the town, and the town is always going to be upwards if you're going from waypoint. And keep walking the zone, barely not touching the wall that's on the top. And once you're here, you basically know that the waypoint is very close, because it's going to be over here. And you can just keep doing that on the southern. Go towards the middle of the zone, and go towards the upper area, because that's where the town is going to be. And sometimes you can kill this if your damage is high enough. Other than that, just skip him, because he doesn't really drop that good items for you to have. And it's better to kill all the white mobs that are in here. That is southern. The next zone that we unlock, that's Northern Forest. And Northern Forest is a very good zone, but it can be pretty dangerous. Because in Northern, there will always be, especially if at the league start, if you haven't done Einhar, Einhar will always spawn at the beginning of the zone. So you have a guaranteed bestiary with with the yellow beast and the red beast. Which, yes, Einar is a good, and he will help you clear, especially if your clear is a little lackluster. He will help you clear the zone, but you have to be careful of the yellow mobs and the red beasts, because those can be very dangerous when you're running this. Spiders are free. These things can do a lot of damage if there's a hasted mob around them. Other than that, you can keep on going. And find your mobs. And once you're at the end of the zone, we never go to Dread, because Dread doesn't have anything for us. We keep going to caverns. And in caverns, there will be a single person that's running. And to not fuck that person over, we control click on caverns, we make a new zone, and then we immediately control click back to Northern. And then we do the same thing. And you always try to go somewhere in the middle of the zone, because that's where all the mobs will be. If you have enough damage, and especially if you're a caster with Holy Flame Totem, you can click the boxes, because boxes spawn a lot of mobs, which is free XP for you to kill. You don't even have to clear the entire pack, because these fuckers can spawn the exiles. Yeah, basically keep doing that towards the middle of the zone till you get back to the waypoint. Free essence on the way if you can. And once you're at the waypoint, again, control click reset. And keep doing the same thing. Yeah, Einar is Bay in this zone. Einar is very good and will give you a lot of extra help with killing mobs that are even off screen, because Einar off screens stuff. Yep. Next zone is the City of Sarn, and that's after we kill Oversoul. City of Sarn is just like Northern, or just like Southern, sorry. From the waypoint to the town is where you reset. And when in City of Sarn, you kill the mobs. There are always mobs hidden between these houses, so you can always find them over there. Or you can go somewhere in the middle and weave between the houses, back and forth. And then make sure you kill Guard Captain at least once to free Clarissa and talk to her. And then just keep farming and going with the zone, where a lot of mobs will be hidden around the houses, which you can get.
I would say, generally speaking, you want to go more like left side in this zone. Like the stuff behind the houses can be okay if you can bait it into the middle area, but
Yep.
running around those areas is very inefficient. So you should sort of try and stay in this middle area, and then you can do like a bit of zigzagging in the middle area so the stuff from the houses runs at you. But I wouldn't spend too much time going into those areas. It can become inefficient.
Yep. So basically what SPL was talking about is if you enter the zone, you always stay around the middle, and sometimes you can get mobs that are easy to kill. But if they're somewhere in the middle, we can sometimes pick up and see if they come towards us, and otherwise we just keep running and continuing. Yeah, sometimes you can go up, but for example in this, you don't want mobs here because all your skills will be blocked. So it will be better to go around and then get them. And this blue pack, yeah, it's good. If you have the damage, you can go up there, but I wouldn't advise it. Yeah. And it's a very fast zone to run. You do take a lot of loading screens in this, but, well, we just suck. Or we are stuck with the loading screens because GGG doesn't want to fix them. But yeah, that's City of Sarn. Then we go to one of the favorite zones of everyone, docks. And on docks, we always reset from the waypoint. Since there will be multiple people farming docks, we always go on the waypoint because that's easier to reset. And also a reason for that, if we, for example, need to set up a certain portal, for example, at the door towards the tower, we can immediately go from docks to the Ebony Barracks and then continue. And if you're on the other side of the zone, where you aren't at the waypoint, you first have to either place a portal, go to town, or go all the way to Battlefront waypoint and then go to town. It's just a lot easier if everyone resets from the docks, since it has way easier access to every single other point, including your hideout for your damage crafts.
I'll just add as well, the starting door area of docks is basically empty of mobs.
Yeah.
So it's really inefficient.
Yep. Agreed. Then, in every single docks layout, there will be these little alcoves that are all around. Those alcoves have a very high chance, it isn't guaranteed, but there's a very high chance that there are blue packs on there. And blue packs equals a lot of XP. So you always want to kill those blue packs in those zones. And once you can feel, for example, in this zone, if we're here, just clear this, we have to go backtrack all the way through here. You would just reset the zone out of someone else instead of backtracking, because backtracking is no mobs, no XP. And there's a very important thing in docks, and that's the jump rule. Because sometimes in docks, there will be areas, for example here, where either, yes, we can all the way go around and just end up there, or what's easier, and that's what we basically always do, is we jump up towards the ledge and then continue. And we can jump down, because over here is going to be a blue pack. So we see, can we jump down? We should be able to jump down, or we
That's
jump
fine.
over. Right? No? Not, yeah, there. And there's a blue pack already. And over here, blue pack, blue packs. And this is where we came from. So always try to jump over the ledges, since those will lead you to these little alcoves where all the blue mobs are. And then never go towards the area where the entrance is.
Yeah. So you missed a jump back there, for example.
Where did
So
I miss the jump?
basically, yeah,
Because I was here.
yeah. So every time you can jump over, you should jump over. And what it's going to do is it will run you around the outside of docks, hitting all of the piers, and then you'll avoid running this middle section, which is filled with like a bunch of random obstacles and generally inefficient monsters.
Yep. Yeah. Always jump over to different zones, because that's way faster and gives you more XP. And never go to the start, because at the start there is nothing, because this entire area is basically empty. There's not a single mob here, and you just waste of time. Where if you would be at the waypoint and you reset the zone, you're basically instantly at a new pack which you can kill. So that's another reason to always go from the waypoint and never go from the actual entrance. Yeah. That's docks. Let's see, were there any questions? Because I saw from, if you're on the left side at Act 2 and you got the waypoint early in the zone, would you create a new zone? If you're pushing in Northern, you don't create a new zone. If you're not pushing, then yes, you create a new zone. Because basically going into the zone where there's double HP for the person that isn't pushing, or that is pushing, is very bad, since it will make it harder for them to kill mobs and makes it more likely that they actually die to a single pack. So you always control click a zone. Suppose multiple docks runs, isn't it better to cross the whole zone to the door back and forth? No. And that's for the waypoint access. Because the waypoint just gives you so much possibility to go everywhere in the town. Go to your hideout, go to the town, go set up a certain door, go to the trial at Marketplace, go to Diala, everything basically. And it's way easier access via the waypoint instead of via the door. Resetting off someone, basically what you do in your party. SP, are you online on standard? You're not.
I can be. Give me a sec.
Yeah. Or Shoddy. I think he's also in here. Yeah, he is. Doku in here. this SPL. So let's say SPL is also in docs farming, and I basically killed every single mob, and I have to do a bunch of backtracking. This is also why the middle zone is annoying, because there's stuff like this that just blocks you the entire way. You just click on the little blue swirly thing, swirl to him, immediately at the waypoint, and then you can completely reset the zone. And you will be on your way again to kill mobs. Then reset, back at the waypoint, again, new zone, and go. That's what we mean by resetting off of someone. So there will be multiple people, everyone will be on the waypoint. And doing that. And for example, SPL, if you enter not via the waypoint, can you also do that or show that?
No,
So
I
go
just don't do
from
it.
just don't do it. Okay, yeah. I was gonna show how it's like, but yeah, just don't. Let's see. So if you take the risk to show and boost someone else's specs, then it's not really a risk, because basically when you're in here, you are never in the zone longer than 10 seconds to just immediately make a new zone. So there isn't much risk in going there. So every single time that you reset the zone, you immediately click on the portal or on the waypoint, make a new one, and you're out again. It doesn't take longer than 10 seconds to go in and out. Let's see. In many zones, when farming, we do not jump. XX Southern, yeah. So basically, docks is one of the only zones where you would actually jump over certain areas to go up to the next one, instead of staying in the middle, because the middle is banned. Yeah, that's docks.
Eagle, can you demonstrate one full docs run, please?
A full docks run. Start of the zone. You're killing mobs. Over here, there's a little ledge where we can jump. I think no, this isn't one of them. All right. Yeah, no, this isn't one. And we just clear every single zone and pack. And over here we can jump over. More mobs. And we clear. And once we have cleared this, there's a long way where we have to run back. So this entire thing would be cleared already. And at that point, instead of running back, we would reset.
I would keep running. I think that's too early.
You would keep running?
Yeah, because you still have all that appears to the left there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, basically always kill the mobs. And if you can jump to a next zone or pair, that's basically what you do. And kill as much as you can in every single zone. And this is the start of the area. So you go over here. And keep clearing and killing. And then there's nothing. Maybe over there. And then you reset.
Yeah, so that's basically perfect docs run. That's what you're looking to try and emulate. Okay, let's move on.
Let's see. You need less MS, more MS. Or to absorb info at 900 MS. I can go to a slower character if you guys want. Here, I think I have a slower one. What is it? Slightly slower.
The one named Speed. Lol.
Yeah, the one named Speed is slower. Whilst I'm here, since there was a question about the leap slam tech, let me just get leap slam and faster attacks. Well, so I'll just put momentum in there. Leap slam on there, remove that, and we get a cross blink. It's this one, right? Down. Cross link. Where's the flame dash? There. For the leap flame dash, what you would do is leap them, and just before you hit the ground, you flame dash. So if I remove this one, because that's fucking it up.
You mean Frostblink?
Yeah, cross link.
You need attack without move on your skills.
Yeah, that also. Attack without moving. But then you would leap them, and then just frost blink right after, just before you hit the ground. Because that just makes it way faster.
Your animation cancel the landing animation, basically.
Yeah, because otherwise you will be that animation of going down and slamming the ground. It's pretty long where you can just skip it. So basically, when you are just about to land, you press the frost blink again. Do it in a long zone. What's a long
Ledge.
zone? Ledge, sure. Ledge.
Do people still use the smoke mine tech that was going around for a little while?
Not really.
Doesn't work anymore.
Oh, okay.
You'd go through the zone.
Yeah, but you want
Keep
to be
watching
just
for your.
leaping. Like, stop running, just leap and frostblink. Yeah, that's
that's-
more like it.
Yep.
Okay, let's go next farming zone. We've got a lot to get through still.
Yep. Okay, next farming zone. This character's a bit slower. But yeah. Waypoints. There. So the next zone will be Dried Lake, where Dried Lake is basically a circle that we run, and we reset from the town. So if you're entering Dried Lake, always make sure to control click your zones, and we follow the wall of the zone just slightly to where the mobs are. And you try to make a circle out of the zone where you basically kill every single mob. What you could do, which sometimes you do, there's always a guaranteed pack on Vol, which you can kill. Never kill him again. Just kill the pack and then move on. Because the pack that he respawns doesn't give XP. So just kill the pack and move on. And you try to make the zone a circle. And then you can go back. Thing. It's also the reason why we immediately go to the top of the zone in this. Because sometimes it doesn't make a full circle. And then you can cut through the middle. And then this zone, you won't have any mobs that you have killed already. Since you haven't been here. And then you can just do that. And that will be Dread Lake. Where you always go to the top of the zone first. And then you kill the mobs. Keep following the wall. And then cut in. And try to just complete the circle. And in this zone there is no circle. Because it just stops over here. What you could do is you could go around, but that won't do much. Because there's just Vol. And then you can end up in a dead end over here. And then you have to walk back all the way anyways. So once you see this and you cut down and you see a wall, just know that you can immediately go back. And this is just a very cursed layout,
Yeah.
which you sometimes get.
In the cases where you get layouts like this, you should probably just farm the whole zone, and then you can always swirl to someone else in Dried Lake, and you just
Yep.
arrive at their door entrance, and then you just have to go into town. It's an extra loading screen, but it's more efficient in terms of getting more zone farming time. It's an option.
Yeah, normally you can just make the circle yourself and reset. And in zones like this, like SPL said, you can go to someone else and reset over them. I use a leap slam and use frostblink when I notice that I need to change. You can, but just the combination of leap slam and frostblink is just so fast. Where you just do the combo. And just some muscle memory that you have to get used to. And once the muscle memory is there, you can keep going. Any reason you don't just log out? If you have a portal and you log out, then your portal will be gone. So that's why you basically never log out in a run. Only if you know that your portal isn't there. That's why you would log out. So. Next zone will be Calms. And in Calms, we reset off of the waypoint. Always the waypoint. And normally there will be multiple people in Calms that are farming. And we keep farming. These little houses always have mobs. Keep killing. Blue packs are important. And once you're done with a zone, which is when you reach the boss, then you swirl to the person that's also farming in the zone. And you immediately reset your zone and we go again. That's how we run Calms. So go in, run the zone, go to mobs. And at some point you hit the Calms, which is over here, and then you reset and go to the next zone. Which, SPL already went there. I didn't put it in here, but yeah, Slave Pens is another zone where we can go in and farm. And for Slave Pens, just a new zone, you always want to go first to the top of the zone. So go all the way up as much as it will allow you. And once you're at the top of the zone, then you can cut towards the middle. So all the way up to the top. And when at the top, then you cut towards the middle. And you make the circle complete.
Let's just be clear, that method is for farming, not for pushing.
Yes.
If you're pushing, you want to hug the bottom side, or if you understand the layout, you can cut through the center towards the bottom side.
Yeah. So make the full circle if you're farming, and otherwise you go the bottom side and make it faster. After Slave Fence, which you normally only need 1 or 2 runs maybe in there, we get to the Promised Land number 2, Chambers. And in Chambers, it's the same as in Docks and as in Accounts. We reset off of other players that are in the zone. And at every single staircase that is there will be a guaranteed blue pack on top of it. So if you're farming the zone, always go up the stairs, find the guaranteed blue pack, and we kill it, and then we move on to the next zone. Up the stairs, guaranteed blue pack, down the stairs. Blue pack, down the stairs again. Another blue pack, and down. Blue pack. And the big important one in this zone is at the end. Because at the end there are a lot of blue packs. So you always try to get to this zone before you even reset. And after you've killed the blue packs over here, there's always in each of these little cages, there are going to be blue packs. And after it's done, you reset on the next person. Make a new zone again.
Yeah. Can you demonstrate the full way around this time? You like cut in the middle on the last one?
Full way? Yep. Stairs up there. You could even, instead of going around what I just did, you can jump up here. Full way around, up all the stairs. and then you are the full way around with the blue packs again. So you just make a complete circle around it. And if you're pushing, you would take the first zone completely the same until you get to around this part that's up there. And from there you can start cutting in and going through that zone. Next zone, after Innocence, it's Southern Forest Part 2, which will be in Act 6, where we reset from waypoint to the end of the zone. So from the waypoints, we go to the end of the zone, farming and killing every single mob. You have areas like this where you can jump over. I wouldn't personally, because there are always mobs around here, and you get to that zone anyways, and just clear the entire area. Because if we would have jumped over for the speed for the runner in the zone, yes, that's good. Otherwise, you're missing this entire upward area where there are mobs that you can kill, and you just clear the zone over the logs. And then once you're at the end of the zone, we go out. No need to control click because nobody will be in this zone for farming. And then control click into the southern again,
Yeah.
and you
I'll
do
add-
the zone again.
I'll add here that you want to be a lot more loopy around. So what Eagle just showed you, like these skips, that is more if you're actively pushing, but you want to hug the outside areas as well. This is always Valside area, yeah. But yeah, you want to actively make like large sort of like half circles within this zone, and that's how you're getting the maximum out of the zone. You don't want to go up here too much. This gets dead endy.
Because this is where the old thing is. Yeah.
Yeah. But like if you go to the bottom left, for example, like there's all of this area which you can clear as well. So you like, as a general comment, you want to try and get the most out of your zones if possible.
That's southern, and then the next farming zone that's big. What about farming waypoint to waypoint? Lots of load screens. There are just too many load screens in there. Northern Forest, just basically the same thing as the one that we had in Act 2, where we just go around and we kill the mobs as much as possible. Don't reset off of Dread Thicket, because that's gonna be load screen hell again. We just reset out of the causeway. That's always around the top of the zone. Or even sometimes in some layouts, you can go up from one way and then down from the other. But that isn't always the case. In this layout, yes, that's the case. The other one that isn't. Would you pick up Cruise Necklace? I wouldn't. I never pick up Cruise Necklace. Because normally you go to town to hand in your quests after the causeway is called. So you would go in this zone, go towards, and the moment that the portal at the causeway is called, then you would go in potentially and do all your town stuff. And even better if after you've done the Fireflies, you go in and then you do the town stuff. Because Fireflies and then Val City is going to be better. Then next up is going to be the Toxic Conduits, which are going to be in Act 8, where it can be a dangerous zone since all of these mobs will drop a Chaos Cloud. Just keep your life flask up and keep on moving. And that's the easiest way to clear the zone. Keep on moving, kill as much as you can in every single layout. Try to enter these little small things. And you just kill the zone. And you're basically, once you're here, you're resetting, or you can jump through that little gate, and you're resetting out of Dredge Cesspool. If someone is running, you always control click that zone. and then you run the same zone backwards. Go jump through the gate, and we can clear the zone again. And that's just what you keep doing. That's Toxic Conduits, where Life Flask is important because these fuckers will drop Chaos Clouds. Next up, the biggest zone to farm, or one of the smaller zones that you can farm, is Harbor Bridge in the middle. It's 51. You only really do that if you're 51 and you haven't hit 52 yet. And because at 52 you can go to BA, and at Harbor Bridge you only do 1 or 2 passes max if you need it. And basically you keep walking on the middle road, you set from side to side. Then we get to BA, which is the biggest farming zone, where we always try to stick to the top of the zone. And there's a reason for that. Top of the zone is more dense, and certain leak mechanics, for example, Alva and Blight and stuff like that, they are coded to be spawned at the bottom of the BA zones. Those things, Alera or whatever, they will never spawn at the top row of the zone. No Blight in here anymore. There used to be Blight. But yeah, Incursion and stuff like that, they're always coded to be at the bottom of the zone. So don't do that.
And specifically, those spawns eat mob or pack spawns.
Yep. Because if there's a leak mechanic that spawns there, that means there are no mob packs that spawn in that zone or in that area. So you always stay to the top. And sometimes you get these little outcoves. These little outcoves always have guaranteed blue packs. So we stick to the top. We keep running it. And once sometimes you're forced to go down, follow the downward, and the moment you can go up, you go up again. Look for the little outcoves, guarantee blue pack, and go back out. We are forced to go down, follow a little, and then go back up. And we stay up. So every time you have a possibility to go up after you've gone down, you go up. And then go in every single of those scopes because they are guaranteed blue packs. If you're strong enough to do a mirror, do it for extra XP. Yeah, you can. If you get a deli mirror in here, you can do it for extra XP if you want, because it's also more mob spawns. Just make sure that it isn't actually killing you, because if you die doing it, then it's negative XP. So if you're doing the deli mirror, make sure that you can actually clear it and you don't have to wait for certain mobs or take longer on the mobs to do it.
As a general comment in campaign, you want to end your deli mirrors at 3 rewards.
Yep.
And these little alcoves on the bottom side, you can also go down for blue packs.
Yeah, you could. So this one, for example, it's over here. There's also a guaranteed blue pack there. But since you're mostly sticking on the top side, you follow the top side. If by some weird instance like this layout that you have a alcove at the bottom, just go to the bottom and kill it. And then go back up. And hit up, stop. And that's all the farming zones. Because after BA, there won't be any new zone besides maps that you're gonna farm. So after BA, we go maps. And Desecrated Chambers, we don't really farm that. Because BA is more dense and is easier to kill. And that's the end. A lot of information. I hope you guys at least learned some new things on what zones to run and how to run those more efficiently. And what to do and what not to do. SPL recorded a VOD, where if you want to rewatch something, just go back to the VOD and you can watch it again. Are there any ending questions? If a member of the group is especially behind on levels, can a stronger player run with them to boost, or is it a net loss? If you're behind in levels, you just go back to the best farming zone for your level. Because calling people in to boost you, you would only do that if you are actually playing like a carry aura, a curse setup, or just a carry with supports. Then yeah, maybe you would go back. But otherwise, it's up on that solo player to try and catch up in the best XP zones that they can get.
Yeah, I'll elaborate on that answer to mention you need to hit 51.5 before going into second lab if you're playing carry plus supports, because you want to go immediately into BA afterwards. So second lab minimum level is normally 47. But in the case for group play, you want to be entering this kind of like this free time, farming time plus cruel lab opportunity after you enter BA, right? So what you want is the carry plus supports to all be 52 for BA. So if towards the end of Act 8, if the carry has downtime, or if by BA enter the supports are not yet 51.5, because you'll get around half a level of experience in Crawl Lab, then you should actively go back and help them. It is a bit of an XP loss on the carry, but it's optimal play for the supports and getting them swapped over. I'll cover that topic more in depth in the carry and support workshop, whenever that is, a couple of days from now.
Yeah, that thing is in there. Let me check the dates for that.
I think
That
it's
is
the 5th or something.
it's the 5th. Where is it? Yeah, it's the 5th. Carry support plays on the 5th. Yeah. I think that's it. So, good luck, guys. Have fun. And happy farming.